Hi everyone, Liberty here from Spirit Move Ministries. I hope you're all having an awesome week and everything is just going great in your household and in your preparations. This is an extremely serious word I'm about to release, probably more serious than any word that I've released in the history of my channel. And I pray that you see it, you watch it, and you just understand the magnitude of the truth of what God's doing. These are prophetic dreams I'm releasing today that God gave me starting over 2 years ago. And before I do that, though, just a reminder of a couple of things. Down below in the description, you can find the email where you can email spiritmoveministries@gmail.com. Down below is also the link to where you can buy the anointing oil. It was out of stock, but we have restocked it, in case you're wondering, because we got emails asking us. The oil has been restocked, so you can order that now. Also, that at that link, if you go to that, it takes you to where our merchandise is and where we're selling our Spirit Move Ministry shirts and the oil. But also there is an email list, and you can put on there at the bottom that you want to join the email list, and that way you get all the campaigns and the info that we put out that goes to mass email. If we don't get that from you, then it would be very hard for us to get you the emails that go out to everybody through Gmail, because it's a lot of work to try to do that one email at a time. But if you go click the square link down below for Spirit Move Ministries, and it'll take you where you can see that you can buy oil and you can buy the shirts, but also at the bottom, you can add yourself to the email list. So then you get all information. You get information that no one else gets. You have to see it on a video. But everyone else that's on that list, they get to know everything before you watch it on a video. And so that's where a lot of our announcements go out also. If you're planning to participate in the prayer, and fasting, I am going to be having a schedule of what we're praying for each day, what we're doing each day, and there will be set subjects each day. We are going to send that out on mass email, but you have to add yourself to that. So please look below in the description and click the Spirit Move Ministry square link, and then when you go to that, you can add yourself to the email list, and you will get all that info. I will also do another video about the prayer and fasting and the baptism that's coming up in LA on the 26th and 27th. If you're in the area and you would like to be baptized, we're going to be baptizing. And we would love to have you if you're ready to take that next step. Now, moving on. This is a very, very serious word, very, very serious dreams. And just so you can understand, I come to you today with fear and trembling in my heart and spirit. The Lord has told me I am to release this, and I've been sitting on it since March. And you're probably thinking, Liberty, you sit on a lot of stuff. Yes, I do. Sometimes God tells me I have to wait, and I'm obedient to the Holy Spirit. Sometimes there's urgency, and sometimes I need to wait until He says it's the season to release it. Now, just so you know, if you've had trouble or something's happened and then you hear a word from me and you're like, man, I wish I would have known that, I'm sorry. I'm still going to obey God's timing, and I love you all, and I wish you could know everything every second, but that's not how God works. He knows that the right time is the right time. So having said that, this is very serious, and you guys need to understand. When I say serious, I'm going to be saying things I've never said publicly. Now, I have witnesses to these dreams. My church staff, our church staff, they hear everything. And so if you're wondering why, it's because we're a church of the supernatural. When we get together and have staff, we do dream talks. That's what I call it, dream talks. And we talk about what dreams we've had and what we feel like God has been saying to us, and we learn and grow together. It's just part of who we are and what we do at the Bridge. And so our staff has heard about all these dreams. They are witnesses that they existed before the pandemic ever happened. And these are dreams foretelling the pandemic, foretelling what's happening right now and what we're looking towards in the future with our economy. And I'm just letting you know, I am dead serious. I do not release this lightly. It has been a lot. The last week, God has been telling me it's time to share the dreams that I've given you, and it's time to give the warning, the real warning that I need to say. There's several things in it, and I realize I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash and probably attacked and maybe a lot of ugly comments. It's okay. It comes with the territory, but I'm just going to start taking you through it. The Lord gave me 4 prophetic dreams. And let me explain to you how it happened. Please stick with this word because you're going to want to hear all the dreams. I'm going to take you 1, 2, 3, 4 through them, and I'm going to explain what the Lord told me about each of them, okay? So back in March, when he gave me the word, such a time as this, which was a prophecy about what season we're coming into and what has been happening, the wailing in the second quarter, which was the wailing, and then just everything that's happening, the shaking and all that. In that word, if you watched it, there's a couple of times I alluded to the fact that there's other things that I know. Okay, but I didn't say what they were. I just said I know. There's things that I know that the Lord has shared with me through dreams and visions. And so just so you understand that this is what I was alluding to. And I'm going to release it today. And you need to know, with all fear and trembling, I am releasing these dreams to you. And I don't take this at all lightly. This is a huge responsibility in the spirit, but I believe the Lord has told me it's time to do it. Now, back when I released the word, such a time as this, right before that, when he gave me that whole word, before I got on and filmed it and released it, I asked him, I said, what else, God, are you doing? What is going on? And he just kept putting in my heart for like a week, go back through your dream journal. So I was like, okay. So I had to make time for that because I keep track of all my dreams. So that's like a 2-hour sit down. And so a couple of days go by and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I have a couple of hours. I'm going to just set it aside and I'm going to go through my dream journal. And he told me specifically, go back at least 2 years or a little more than 2 years. And I was like, okay. And so I went back and I got my dream journal that was like from whatever, a couple years ago. And he said, just begin to read it. And you're going to see that I already told you. I already told you what's happening. I showed it to you in your dreams. And he said, as I was going through, he said, remember some of the dreams that you had over the last couple of years that you thought were really weird and had nothing to do with your life? And I said, yeah. And he said, they were about what's happening. And this was in March. And so I went back through in March, and I'm just going to tell you, my mind was blown. And he told me some things, and I'm releasing them to you today. And I'm very serious about what I'm about to release, beyond serious. And so the very, very first dream, I'm just going to go right into it, and hopefully this video isn't a half hour. But the very, very first dream, that when he took me back through the journal, that he told me he would show me which ones were about COVID or the foretelling of what's happening right now. He would reveal them to me. And they would be the weird ones. And it's totally true. So dream number 1, I'm talking about 4 dreams. Dream number 1, 12/24/18. This was my first dream foretelling of COVID. And other details about COVID that he told me. He gave me a word of knowledge of the truth about China. And this is my first time ever telling it publicly. I've only said it to our church staff. They are my witnesses to all this, okay? Months ago. Okay. Years ago, actually, because we talk about all of our dreams. Our staff has heard about these dreams way before now. And so 12/24/18. God gives me a dream that I'm in a clothing store. Now track with me. Dream interpreters out there, prophetic people, you're going to understand. You're right where I'm going with this and what God was saying. I'm in a clothing store, and a man comes up behind me in a white shirt. I didn't see his face. I believe he was a white man. He was Caucasian. And I saw his arm come around me from behind, and he choked me in a chokehold, and he held me back. And then I saw in his other hand a syringe full of poison of something, and I knew he was going to shoot me with it, and that he was going to try to, kill me, knock me out, something. I knew in the dream that that he was going to do something to me with what was in that syringe. He was going to shoot me with it, and there was a purpose behind what he was doing. Because here's the thing: think about this. Why would somebody attack me in a store with a syringe with poison? They would have a gun or something, right? Okay. So I'm in the dream. This is why this is a weird dream. So I'm in the dream, and he shoots me in the right shoulder, and immediately I thought in the dream, I'm going down. That's it. He's poisoned me. I'm going down. But I was still fine. I was still going. And I see this woman across the store. She comes over, and I mouth to her. He's behind me, so he doesn't see me. Help, basically. And she starts screaming, and she scares him off. So then the white guy goes running off, and he throws me to the floor. And I'm on the floor, and I go to get up, and an Asian man walks up to me in front of my face with a syringe full of poison. And he puts it right in front of my face, and he says, I'm going to finish the job. And he was just getting ready to shoot me with the syringe of poison. And someone else came up and saw what was happening, and I started kicking and screaming, and he got scared. He dropped the syringe on the floor, and he ran off. Dream over. I'm sure you're having a whole lot of thoughts right now. Let me tell you what this dream means and what God told me, and I'm going to get to this. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't want this to be so long. So this is what the Lord told me about the dream. He told me that the first man represented somebody working with China, most likely American. They were white. They gave me a shot, and it didn't work. It scared me. I was scared. I thought I was going down. I thought, I'm done. He poisoned me. I'm out. Then the Asian man, which is very obvious. So this is 12/24/18. And so back then I had a dream that an Asian wanted to poison me. Okay? So this was very obvious to me what that meant. I'm like, God, you need to line this out for me, because back then, let me tell you what I wrote in my journal when I wrote the dream. I wrote out the dream, and I wrote next to it, weird. I had no idea what it meant until March, when he told me to go back and read my dream journal. And then he told me the interpretation and told me what this dream meant. He said, I said, okay, God. I said, but why was I being attacked? Because in the dream, it was me, Liberty. And he said, what is America? What does America stand for? And I said, liberty. And he said, okay, you're Liberty. And you represented America in the dream. And I was like, oh, dear God. And so, Jesus, praise Jesus. And I said, okay, Lord, I said, what is going on here? And he said, the white man was the first attack. And it was to scare everyone. And you scared him off. It didn't work fully. It didn't fully work. Then the Asian man came up, and he had no problem putting right in front of my face the poisonous syringe and letting me know I was about to go down, and he was going to finish the job. And I felt like the Lord told me that China is going to finish the job. There is something else coming. There is a second attack of some kind, and it's going to be biological or some kind of liquid form, because it was still a syringe. And it was yellow in color in the syringe. And he told me that there is another attack coming. You represented America in the dream. And he also told me this, and this is my first time saying this publicly, what he told me. He said China created it. Now, all of you guys, you've already heard all the conspiracy stuff by then, or by now. And even by March, people were already talking about China. People have had stories, whatever. I don't know, and I'm not going to copy anyone else. I'm telling you what God told me that day that I told my staff way months ago. And the Lord said, China created it on purpose, tested it on their, and released it against their people on purpose to test it. And didn't necessarily expect it to go so crazy. But it was done on purpose. It was released to their people on purpose. It was not an accident at a fish place. He said they created it on purpose because they were planning on using it as a biological weapon. And they were testing it on their own people. And you're probably thinking, that's crazy. No, it's not. People who are crazy, that just want power, they will do evil things. And this is the real deal, you guys. This is literally what he told me. So, in the dream, I'm Liberty, and I believe there's more coming, that China is continuing to be up to no good, and it might be a worse virus or the same thing, but worse, I don't know. God didn't tell me what it was. He just said that this isn't the end. This hasn't been the end. And that what's interesting is in the dream, he was partnered with a white man, and I believe it was an American person, an American entity China was working with. They were a white Caucasian. They were not a foreigner. They were not Asian. And so moving along, if this hasn't blown your mind already, let me tell you, this is very serious to me, you guys, what I'm releasing to you. So I'm putting this out publicly, and I know attack is going to come my way, but the Lord told me don't sit on it anymore. Okay, so we already know that the virus started happening. This dream has come true, basically. It might not be fully done, but it has come true. Second dream, he told me, keep looking. There's a pattern. There's more dreams. 12/28/18. I had a dream, 12/28/18. This is a long time ago, you guys. We were out somewhere doing an outreach. And we had come back home. We rent a school. We're a church plant. So we had come back home from this outreach, or from whatever we were doing, ministry we were doing. We came back, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the school tells us we have to pack up and leave. We can no longer use the campus. And it was like an emergency. They said, you have to do it over the weekend. You can't meet here anymore. And we were like, what's going on? Why? And they were like, you can't meet here anymore. You have to pack up and go. The week in March, we were on our trip before we went into lockdown here in Arizona. We were on our trip the midweek in March. The 14th of March, the school calls me and says, we need to get a hold of you. You guys need to pack up your stuff and you have to get out. You cannot use the school anymore because we're shutting everything down because of the virus. And you can no longer use the facility. You need to come get your stuff and get it out. No joke, okay? That dream has already come true. That day, we had to come back that weekend from taking our leaders to a ministry trip in New Mexico, and we had to leave the campus. We had to pack up and go. And I had that dream on 12/28/18 that was going to happen, okay? That happened in March. So that dream came to pass. Now, moving ahead. Dream number 3. This is going to blow your minds because it's blown my mind. And I know I'm being a little sassy in between, but I'm dead serious about what I'm releasing. 1/28/19. This is January of 2019. So it's a long time ago. I had a dream that me and 2 other women at our church were trying to save the children. And I said to the Lord, why would we have that? Why would I have that dream? We were out trying to save the children. And in the dream, we felt an urgency to save the children. And that was 128:19. That dream is currently happening. We are currently in the middle of all that. And so those 3 dreams are proof of what God was foretelling me. And so now the 4th dream. And I need you to understand, this dream hasn't happened yet, but I'm letting you know because you need to have the warning and you need to know what God told us and what we did for our family. And I feel like it's necessary that this warning be put out there, especially for the body of Christ, but for people in general. And it has to do with the economy. And so, and it was a very short dream. Me and my husband were buying a house because we've been renting. We were getting ready to buy. We were gonna buy, okay? Someday in the near future, okay? 2/16/19, February 16th, 2019. I have a dream that me and my husband go in to the title company to sign loan documents on a new home. And as we sign the paperwork, it says that we got a home mortgage for 1.98%. That would never happen. Now, they have talked about the interest rates being slashed, but it's not like for mortgages like that. You're still going to pay 3.5 for a home mortgage right now. And I went to my husband, I remember, because we do dream talks. I went to my husband when I had that dream in 2019 and to our church staff because we were talking about it. And I said, what in the world could possibly happen in our world for us to get a house that cheap? That dream hasn't happened yet. That dream hasn't happened yet. And so as I thought about that dream, I felt like the Lord was telling me something was going to happen with the economy. This is way before COVID or anything else. Something's going to happen. Home prices are going to drop dramatically. There's going to be a loss because of something that's going to happen. And I remember literally we had the conversation, what could possibly be so bad that could happen to our world or our country that could make an interest rate be so low? The Lord told me this was number 4 of my COVID dream. And this is what recently happened. So I'm sharing this with you. This is a warning. There's not going to be a whole bunch of big word with this. I'm literally just sharing these dreams with you so you can know what's really up, what's really been going on with China. I literally know what God told me about my first dream. And I know everyone has heard all kinds of things on the TV. I avoid the media because I don't want to be tainted. I only want to hear what the Holy Spirit's telling me so that I can say without a shadow of a doubt the truth when I speak things. And so in this dream, it was so cheap. So then, fast forward, we're in 2020 and we're preparing to have a house built right before the pandemic hit and the lockdown. We had gotten land. We didn't pay for it yet, but it was all going to be a part of a package and we were going to have a home built. And the prices were still, what I would consider high, way higher than you probably want to pay for a house, but it's the way the market was. And so we were like, well, God, we trust you. If we build this house and it's your will, then, we know you'll provide. And you said that you're going to, give us a home. And so we go to start building this house. And then as we're going through and we're building it and it's getting closer, I said to my husband, I'm like, okay, I had that dream that we were getting a house for a really low price with a really low interest rate. And that's not happening right now. And I said, so I don't know what's going on, because if this is God's will that we build this house, then, what is with that dream that I had then? Because it was us getting a house, and it was really cheap, and the interest rate was really cheap. Well, then fast forward a few more months. Now we're in July, and she lets us know that there was all these delays because of the virus, so they couldn't, we weren't going to close until the end of October. Well, we're praying, me and my husband, it doesn't matter what we're doing, we're praying and making sure, okay, God, if this is your will, if it's not your will, you need to stop it. We're trusting you, but we also see what's going on in the season. And I said, God, you gave me a dream of a really low interest rate, and we're not getting that interest rate. We're not getting the house for cheap. Well, cheaper, more affordable. And I said, so can this be your will? Is this your will? What's going on? And we were going to continue, but I said to him in July, I said, Lord, stop it. Stop it if it is not your will. Our landlord comes to us. I'm not joking you, August 1st. And this is why we had to move. Some of you that have joined the church, you know some of the story that we've had to move our church office and our house. She comes to us August 1st and says, I'm selling the house. You have 30 days to get out. And we're like, okay, I guess that's an answer, God. You don't want us to buy because there's nowhere we could go until the end of October. Nobody would rent to us for 2 months. We have a church office. We have Spirit Move Ministries. We have filming room. We have all this stuff we have. We can't just go stay some in-between place for months. And so we knew then we were going to have to find another rental and rent. And so the Lord showed me. And so I said, okay, God, I said, you didn't let us get this house. And he said, if you were to get that house, you'd be paying too much because prices are going to drop. He said, there is going to be a drop in the housing market. And he said, you would have lost money, not lost money, but you would be paying too much for the house and be losing money. And so I said, okay, I said, I knew something was up because of the dream you gave me. We were buying a house when everything obviously had dropped. It had dropped down. We weren't going to be buying high. We were going to be buying low. And he said, you would be paying too much for it. And he said, I'm protecting you from a huge mistake. And he told me, you are not to buy right now. And so I'm telling you this right now. Nobody should be buying houses right now. He told me, I'm telling you, this is the percentage he gave me. There's going to be at least a 20% drop is what he told me in the value of homes coming through this next season. And he said we would be losing all that money in the value of our house. And I wrote it in my journal, 20% loss in the housing market. And I wrote that even before he stopped us from buying the house. But I couldn't understand why we were getting this house and the dream, we weren't in the dream yet. So this dream has not happened. So that means something is going to be going on with the economy. Everything's going to drop. There's going to be a huge effect. And everybody, you need to get ready because this is part of it. But the reason why I'm sharing this seriousness of this last dream is to let you know, if you are planning to buy, do not buy. I'm probably going to get attacked for saying that, especially if you're a realtor. I am telling you right now, you should not be buying a house right now because you're buying high. And no, if God stopped us from getting a house because he said we would be paying too much and that dream needed to come true, it's going to come true in the future. He said it's going to come true in the future when you do actually buy a house, when I release you and I allow it. So you need to know we're not there yet. Something is going to happen to cause it to where it would be like us getting a house for 1.98%. Not even realistic, right? So the thing is, it hasn't happened yet. The first 3 dreams I've had, the first 2, the one, China, virus, I believe there's more coming. It was done on purpose. Second dream, I can't even remember. Okay, so the second dream, the Lord was basically kicking us out of the school because it was on lockdown. And the next dream was we were trying to save the children, which is currently happening. But the 4th dream has not come to pass. And so I'm just here to tell you, and this is my warning to you. And I feel like the Lord has told me people need to know what's actually happening, and you need to warn them. They should not be buying houses right now. This is not a buying house season, because everything's going to drop and you're going to pay too much for your house. And I know that sounds like a really small, like that's not like some big prophecy, prophetic word. I'm telling you, God spared us from buying a house for a reason. And so that's not just for us. It's for everybody. And he told me a 20% drop. So if it's more, okay, but at least a 20% drop with what we're looking at in the future seasons. And so I just want you to know that's it. I'm sorry it's 30 minutes. I hope you made it through. But those are the 4 dreams. I have never released them publicly until this day. And I'm letting you know that you need to be careful about buying homes or anything else right now. God made it so clear because my dream has not happened yet. The 4th dream has not come to pass. And we are currently in my 3rd dream. That was last year. That was in 2019. We are now walking it out. Save the children. And so I'm letting you know, I'm releasing this. Don't get freaked out. I know I say that all the time, but I felt like the Lord told me it was time to release these. You guys are awesome. I'm going to let you go because it's already like 30 minutes and I don't want to keep you, but we love you guys. You're awesome. And pray for each other, love each other. And I'm telling you, you should not be buying a house. And you need to be watching and you need to just wait on the Lord with that because the market is going to drop. It is going to drop at least 20%. At least 20%. And so you guys are awesome. You're amazing. And have an awesome, awesome day. Be blessed, you guys. And be watching for the prayer and fasting information. I will be making another video on that and the baptisms. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.